Hello, grade 10 science. This is your intro video for Unit 7. Unit 7 is the last of our chemistry units on chemistry. We're essentially going to study acids and bases. We'll also be doing our first science experiment during this unit. Let's get into it. The first thing you need to do in the unit is we're going to come through. I've made you a review sheet because there's going to be a test at the end of the unit, and I'm going to evaluate you on that test, and I'm also going to evaluate you on the lab, the acid and the base lab that we do together in class. So what I've printed with this unit is I made you a review sheet. I haven't put it up here yet, but you'll be able to find it right here under this Unit 7 guide that I just opened. But on that review sheet, you will find, I'll pull it up here right now. You'll find the review sheet for the definitions that you need to get, as well as things that you need to be able to do on the test. And during class, we'll be going through all of these components. We'll be making ourselves a review sheet that you'll actually bring into that test when you write it. If you don't have a review sheet, you're on your own. But if you would like, you can make a one-page front and back review sheet for yourself to bring into the test. So when you come into class, we'll be working towards that. We'll go through the entire unit. I will teach to the acids and bases and what they are, the properties that they have, and examples of what acids and bases are in our daily lives. We'll go through all of those. This is a nice, neat table that tells you the properties of both. So we should be able to talk about which each of them are and what each of them do, what they're able to do. And then we'll talk about litmus paper and how you can use that to identify acids and bases. We'll be using litmus paper when we do the lab as well. We'll introduce the pH scale. This is kind of it in color. The version on your paper copy is black and white, but I would highly suggest that you go online and you just Google pH scale and pull up some different colored ones where they'll show you the different color samples, because when you do your lab, you'll be recording what some of those colors are when you do pH scale tests on a number of different acids and bases. This explains basically what happens in a reaction where an acid and a base come together. It's a double displacement reaction. We learned about those in Unit 6. So if you don't know what a double displacement reaction is, you need to go find out what that is from Unit 6. A neutralization reaction is a kind of double displacement reaction, but it involves an acid and a base, because when an acid and a base come together, they neutralize. And they do that by doing a double displacement reaction. But when it has an acid and a base in it, it's called a neutralization reaction. Okay, and when they go through that reaction, they produce a salt and a water, and this shows you how that's done. When that's done, we will do the lab together. The labs are on the 5th and the 6th of March. If you miss those, you'll be completing this virtual chemistry lab above. And the virtual chemistry lab is the same thing. You will take a beaker, you will put a base or an acid in there, and you will test it with certain litmus papers. So you stir it with the rod, choose a litmus paper, and it'll drip the base on there. Because this is a base, and I used blue litmus paper, it didn't change anything. Had I used the same thing, stir it again, and I used red litmus paper, well, of course, a base turns a red litmus paper blue, so that means that whatever I just used in the beaker was a base. But anyways, there's a lab for this. I will make you a lab sheet, and you will just basically do it virtually instead of being able to do it in the room. You'll write down recordings. You'll do the same assignment, but it'll be a virtual lab instead. Okay? So that's that. Once the lab is complete, I will set a test date. We'll write the test. Remember to complete your review sheet. And aside from that, that's up for Unit 7.